Alright, today we're working on the carburetors for the Gold Wing, and let me show you what we're dealing with. Now this is where the air screw adjustment goes. I believe maybe for idle, not totally sure. Not great with carburetors, but anyway, the one that was in here, I'll show you what it look, if I can get it out. The one that was in here was broken off. This is what they look like when they're in there. This top was broken off and it was flush there. So in the process of trying to get this out, I ended up breaking this case. Now I'm hoping, because there's a washer and O-ring go down there, so when this sits on top, it shouldn't really matter if there's a little bit of crack. But I attempted to make what appeared to be some of the worst welds ever, but I was afraid of destroying it further. So hopefully when I grind this down, it'll look like I know exactly what I'm doing, and we can get this carburetor to work. Because I really don't want to have to spend the money on trying to buy a new carb body if I don't have to. So I'm gonna get grinding this up and see what we can come up with. Alright, I had to give it another go around with the weld because I just didn't penetrate deep enough the first time. I'm pretty afraid of I can't focus, going too deep and just melting it. I don't know, I've never welded on, I don't know, on a pot metal before, so kind of a new experience. You can see it's still got the crack at the top. Kind of not, I don't know if this is gonna hold or not. It's not the best, but I think I'm gonna give it a try, and if I have to, I'll probably have to get a whole carb, because I don't know if I can find just one carb body. So that's why I'm trying to avoid this. And this is an air seal, so hopefully as long as the screw's down in there tight, hopefully the gasket does the rest of the work. So I guess I'm going to try to get it back together now. So this is how this little part goes together. It's got the spring, a washer, and then the rubber gasket down in like that. Alright, I had to do a lot deeper of a weld. Right now it looks awful, but I'm just trying to go for functionality right now. I did go a little bit too hot and it melted in there, so I had to use the rethreader to thread that out. But I think it is working as it should. So I think I'm gonna get the rest of the gaskets changed on them, put it all back together, and I already did all the bowls and the tops and everything, so everything should be good. It was just this that was holding me up, waiting for parts. So I'm gonna try to all get it back together and see if maybe I can get it back on the bike. Alright, it's now, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's raining out. It's getting dark, but I did get it all back together. It did hold fairly well. Doesn't look terrible. So hopefully that works, and tomorrow, I can't figure out what to do with these bolts, but I'll be looking, and tomorrow we can try to get back on the bike and see if it'll fire right up and run like it should. Alright, next day, back out in the hot sun, working on the Gold Wing. Just got the carb on. I had a slight issue where I had soaked the innards of these in some solution, and I forgot to rinse them off, so there was some dirt debris and the floats were sticking in there, and so I ended up getting fuel back into the air filter. But I just cleaned those out, and now we're gonna see if she runs. After doing some online research, there's these little needles that sit right in here. You can see that little thing that goes. Replace those and adjust the height that these things sit at. And they said that should solve my problem. So we'll see. I had the issue with the other one that was leaking, but this one is even worse. This thing's supposed to slide in and out freely. And it's really stuck in there. I'm not sure how that happened, but that's definitely my problem. So once I get this out, I can put the new one in, and that should solve my problem of fuel going back into the box. Alright, it's running. It's smoking like crazy. I don't know when the last time this thing has run other than when I've run it. But it's idling fairly well. It still sounds a little rough. So I don't know if it just needs to burn the oil off that's been sitting in there or what the deal is, but the longer it runs, it seems to be the better it runs. So I'm going to try to keep running it for a little while and see if that helps improve it. So I am getting a lot of air bubbles in. I think that's a bit of my backfiring, and I believe it's my fuel filter, because that should have be full of fuel, but it's dry as a bone right now, so just sucking whatever it can. So that's on the way. That ought to really help it.